So you mentioned your number one piece of advice for your kids. Would you say that that's similar to what you would kind of recommend to any young people getting into the workforce or coming out of the military?
Yeah, it's definitely just take the time to educate yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
I look back at like the decisions I made when I chose finance as a degree,
Yeah.
the amount of thought and effort I put into that is appalling, you know.
Just
Like
sounds cool.
it
Yeah.
just sounds cool. Sounds like they make a lot of money. I'll figure it
Hmm.
out, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, kind of the guidance I got at that point in time from my parents was, hey, it doesn't really matter what school you go to or anything like that. It's just a piece of paper. It's a check the box thing. Like
Hmm.
it's really for the experience and the maturity and all of that. So, and in hindsight, maybe it depends on what you're going for. It depends on what your purpose for going to school is.
Hmm.
And if there's specific companies you want to work for, then the degree where you get it from might really matter,
Yeah.
and what your degree is in might really matter.
Hmm.
And then other companies just don't care. And I remember thinking as an 18-year-old kid, well, I don't know what in the world I want to do. How am I supposed to know what to do?
Hmm.
Um, I didn't really put in the effort,
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more tools out there nowadays to kind of
Hmm.
lower that effort bar
Yeah.
of knowledge.
Well, and I would also say to that is like being an intentional parent to help guide your kids in that. I look back on my selection of what I chose, and I wish I had had a little more firm guidance. Not necessarily telling me what to do, but giving me more exposure to understand what all is out there.
Yeah,
Before making
education.
a
Yeah,
selection. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And my parents were small business owners. They owned a physical therapy clinic.
oh,
They
cool.
So for them, it didn't matter. They they went out and started their own path.
Yeah.
So for them, that was what they knew. But yeah, something I'll try and pass on to mine.
Yeah. What would be one book you'd recommend people to read?
Hmm.
I guess I should ask you if you're a big reader first, but there you go. You're on the spot now.
Yeah. So I think the saying the Bible is a cop out. I won't say that. I'll say
That's number one, right?
yeah. So
It's
probably
like
one of the
number
most
two. Yeah.
so one of the most impactful books I've read, and I read it a very long time ago
Mm.
when I was like 12 or something, is Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it might just be because might just be a nerdy thing in economics, but just learning the fundamentals of economics and
Mhm.
what makes a, a business or an economy or a community or really anything run, like the actual underlying mechanics behind all of those decisions that get made by everyone involved. The
Mm.
book does a good job of kind of breaking it down in kind of a basic way how to think about that.
Yeah. I
Um,
have never read that book. I'm gonna have to get that one and check it out. Sounds
yeah,
like
it's about. I have it in here. No, that's going on the shelf, but it's about that thick.
okay.
But that's one that I routinely, it probably pops into my head, once every week or two.
Worth reading.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. But more than that, nowadays, podcasts.
Yeah.
That I can
Podcast.
do in the car. I don't have to sit down and
Mhm.
read. So
Yeah. I that's where I get a lot of my current events and knowledge from. The only problem I've seen with that is like with all the craziness in the world, it's like you turn on a podcast like when you're just chilling. It's like make sure it's a podcast, it's just educational. It doesn't talk about politics or what's going on in the
yeah,
world. Find something that you're learning from that isn't necessarily current events.
right.
Give yourself some time to decompress.
Yeah, 100%.